The Chicago Bears have long carried the weight of history, from the legendary monsters of the Midway to the dominant defenses of past decades. This team has a proud legacy. But in recent years, fans have often asked the same question: is this finally the year we see a true return to form, or is it another false start? Something different is happening behind the scenes. Under the leadership of new head coach Ben Johnson, the Bears are beginning to move in a bold direction. Strategic decisions are being made that have the potential to shift the franchise's future. And while these moves may surprise some fans, they also suggest that this team is no longer content with just rebuilding. They're aiming to win. One storyline that's causing real discussion across the fan base is the potential departure of former defensive lineman DeMarcus Walker, not because of his performance alone, but because of where he might end up next. Walker, who started all 17 games last season and brought a level of stability to Chicago's defensive front, is now being connected to a direct division rival, the Detroit Lions. Reports suggest that Walker is being considered by the Lions to help fill a major need at edge rusher. With veteran players like Zadarius Smith and Marcus Davenport unavailable, the Lions are reportedly exploring Walker as an option to support star pass rusher Aiden Hutchinson. It's a potential move that stings for Bears fans, not because Walker was a superstar, but because he was dependable and knew the system. Losing a starter to a rival isn't just a regular offseason shuffle, it represents a strategic shift in the balance of power. Walker knew the Bears' schemes, their strengths, and their vulnerabilities. If he lands in Detroit and plays well, it could expose gaps in Chicago's defense while strengthening a team the Bears have to face twice a year. To be clear, Walker wasn't dominant statistically. He recorded 47 tackles and wasn't the game-changing force fans might have hoped for. But his reliability and presence on the line mattered. Losing that kind of veteran depth, especially to a rival on the rise, could create more questions than answers. Did the front office let him walk too easily? Was there a chance to retain him that wasn't fully explored? Or is this a sign that the Bears are turning the page and focusing on a new core? These are the types of decisions that define the future of a team. Every player who wears the navy and orange represents a part of this team's identity, and when one of those players might join a rival, it's a powerful reminder of how competitive and unforgiving the NFL really is. Before we continue with the latest updates, make sure you don't miss any important news about the Bears. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and press the bell icon. Stay updated as we follow every move leading into this season. Now, back to the defensive line. While attention focuses on who might be leaving, there's another story developing. One that involves a potential new addition. It's not a blockbuster signing, but it could provide meaningful support. The player being discussed is Tano Kapasagnon, a veteran defensive end who has spent the last 4 years with the New Orleans Saints. According to multiple reports, the Bears are showing interest in Kapasagnon as a depth piece on the defensive line. At first glance, this may not seem like headline material. Kapasagnon isn't a Pro Bowler, and he's not the type of player who sells jerseys, but that doesn't mean he isn't valuable. In fact, this is the kind of under-the-radar move that can quietly strengthen a team's depth and resilience over a long season. Kapasagnon brings 2 things that make him interesting: experience and familiarity with the Bears' defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen. From 2021 to 2024, Kapasagnon played under Allen's defensive system in New Orleans. That means Allen already knows what he can do, where he fits, and how to use him effectively. This matters because Allen is known for building aggressive, disciplined defenses. Last season, he helped maximize the talents of young players like Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon. If he sees Kapasagnon as someone who can contribute, there's likely a clear vision for how he would be used. Now, let's talk numbers. In 2023, Kapasagnon played 17 games and recorded 3.5 sacks. In 2022, he played 15 games and started 5 of them. These aren't star-level stats, but they show consistency. At 30 years old, he may still have something left in the tank. And with young players like Austin Booker still developing, Booker played just 27% of defensive snaps last season. Having a proven veteran in the rotation could be a smart insurance policy. The question is, what are the Bears expecting from him? If it's just to round out the depth chart, he's likely a solid addition. But if the coaching staff believes he can do more, play a bigger role, add leadership, or provide unexpected impact, then this becomes more than a quiet move. It becomes a calculated step toward building a defense that can compete at the highest level. Still, there's reason to be cautious. Kapassignon is coming off an Achilles injury that limited him to just 3 games last season. The Bears need players who can stay on the field, not just take up space on the roster. But if Allen believes he can bring value, then perhaps it's worth the gamble. What's clear is that the Bears are thinking carefully about how to balance youth with experience. They've added stars like Montez Sweat to dominate on the edge. Now they're looking for depth pieces who can step in when needed and maintain the pressure. It's all part of a larger plan to build a defense that can keep up with the team's rapidly improving offense. As the offseason continues, one name stands above all the rest. It's not just a name, it's a statement. Jalen Ramsey, one of the league's top cornerbacks and a Super Bowl champion, is on the move, and the Bears could be his next destination. This is not a rumor without substance. The Miami Dolphins are facing a difficult salary cap situation and have already announced their plans to move on from Ramsey. While the trade hasn't officially taken place, Chicago is being named as a possible landing spot, and for good reason. Let's break it down. The Bears have a promising young secondary. Jalen Johnson has developed into one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL. Kyler Gordon has become reliable in the slot, while rookies like Tyreek Stevenson and Quindell Johnson are showing early signs of potential. But this group is still young. What they lack is experience. The kind that comes from years of facing elite offenses and knowing how to lead a defense. That's exactly what Ramsey brings. Adding a player like Ramsey would instantly upgrade the entire unit. He could line up opposite Johnson and allow the younger players to develop without the pressure of being full-time starters. It would also send a message: the Bears are serious about winning now. There's also a coaching connection to consider. Ramsey has worked with Dennis Allen before, and while their past wasn't perfect, both men have grown. Allen is coming off a season where his defensive scheme turned heads around the league. A player like Ramsey, even at age 30, could thrive in such a system. Of course, there are challenges. Ramsey's contract is large, and acquiring him would likely require both a trade package and a plan to manage the salary cap. But the Bears have flexibility, and General Manager Ryan Poles has shown he's not afraid to make bold moves when the opportunity is right. Would it be worth the cost? That depends on how close the Bears believe they are to becoming true contenders. With Caleb Williams at quarterback and a revamped offense taking shape, pairing an elite corner like Ramsey with a strong front seven could make this team dangerous on both sides of the ball. Imagine lining up against the Bears and seeing Ramsey and Johnson locking down receivers, while Montez Sweat leads the pass rush. It's the kind of setup that playoff teams have. It's the kind of move that signals a shift from rebuilding to winning. And for fans, it's a dream that suddenly feels possible. Whether or not Ramsey ultimately joins the team, just being in the conversation shows how far the Bears have come. A year ago, they were searching for answers. Today, they're building a foundation. They're attracting attention. They're making moves. So what does it all mean? The Bears are changing. They've brought in new leadership, invested in young talent, and are exploring key additions on defense. From DeMarcus Walker possibly heading to a rival, to Tano Kapassignon providing veteran support, and the major possibility of Jalen Ramsey joining the fold. The pieces are being placed on the board. It won't all be perfect. There will be setbacks. But the plan is becoming clearer. Combine explosive young players with experienced veterans to create a team that can win now and keep growing. The question that remains is this enough? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. This version of the Bears feels different. Focused, strategic, hungry. And if the pieces fall into place, fans may soon witness something they've been waiting years for. A Chicago Bears team ready to write a new chapter in its legendary story. Let us know your thoughts. And remember, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat.